Hello and welcome to the Council of Moms, my safe place. The place where you can say what you mean what you say, and then forget about it later because you've got a lot of other stuff on your mind too. This is the place where we come together. I'm your host, Lisa Valentine Clark. I'm so happy to be here. I love being a mom. I really do. And I have 5 mostly grown kids from ages 17 to 27. My youngest is on the cusp of quote unquote adulthood, which now I realize is a long process to become a fully functional human, but it's cool. And because I got my ladies and we're working it out.
You seem
today.
really relaxed.
I love it.
Sure.
Did you guys, something? I used to be so uptight and now I'm really easygoing.
There you go.
That's the kind of mom I am.
Yeah.
I love it when moms say what kind of mom they are. Because, it's going to change hour by hour. Council of Moms, overqualified, underpaid, overwhelmed. We understand. And I also like this one. Council of Moms, the only way to outnumber your kids.
Ooh.
When there's like one of you and how many of her, like you get your council, you get your ladies. And as always, Council of Moms made with real moms. And we have some real moms here today. I'm super excited for them to introduce themselves. Let's take it away.
Aloha, everyone. I'm G. I'm rocking the Council of Moms hat today. So
Yeah, you are.
Council of Moms
I love
merch
it. Thank
plug.
you, Council of
Not
Moms.
bad.
Mother of 5 supposedly grown adults, and just enjoying being here with you all.
Love it. Love it.
And you're an empty nester.
Yes.
Let's just pause on that for a minute.
Wow, that's a
Ooh.
big phase of life. That's a transition.
That's a relative term.
Oh, yeah,
That's true. Actually, very true.
Again, process.
Uh-huh.
Process.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm Tammy Hall, and got 4 kids, ages 16 to 29. And it's 4 girls. So I always say it's all drama all the time. Someone's always crying, including my husband. So,
Aw.
yeah.
At least he's not left out. That's great.
That's true. That's true. We enjoy them. We also we're a blended family. So I married a widower, and then we had 2 together. So I married him with 2, and they were 7 and 9, and then we had 2, and now we're all just one big happy family.
Nice.
Wow.
A lot of drama.
I'm Whitney Call. I am a writer and filmmaker. I also am a mother to 3 young boys, 9, 8, and 7. So I was hoping I could be a marmy, but instead I'm the last line of defense for any estrogen in our house, trying to represent women everywhere. Even my dog is male, so a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
Thank you
It'll
for
come
representing.
back to you later in life. You'll get
Yeah,
all those
so.
girls.
And I hope they all like me.
Well, I am so glad that we're here. I have a question for the Council of Moms, and here it is. Hi, moms. One of my kids is really struggling to find friends and talks about it often. It's painful. At the same time, I think they feel self-conscious because if I try to offer suggestions, the conversation ends. They aren't receptive to my help, and they isolate even more if I try. I don't know if I should reach out to other kids' parents without telling my kid, or like what I should do when everything I suggest is met with resistance. How do you help your child make friends? Oh, this is a hard one.
What resonates with me is I have a hard time making friends. I feel like when you're an adult, it's really hard to make friends. You're no longer forced by proximity to be in the same classes with someone, or, you might have friends at work, but for me, I'm a freelancer, so I'm friends with my computer.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I think we have trouble sometimes making friends. And I know that my kids, they don't always pay attention when I'm talking to them about their stuff, right? When I'm trying to offer advice, it's going to go on deaf ears. When I talk about my struggles, all of a sudden they perk up. And I feel like they love to listen to either when I was their age or right now, even if I'm starting to talk about my struggles, suddenly they want to ask questions. They're trying. And so I don't know if at their age it's then filtering to, and this also applies to you. But I do think that
Remember this story, children.
maybe,
Yeah.
right? Maybe by osmosis. But I know for me, it was really hard for me to make friends moving into a new neighborhood. And so I first had to feel like, okay, I'm people like being my friend. I feel like I'm a worthy friend. I had to first get that down. And then I started getting confident enough to start saying, well, I'm going to have a movie night. Every week, I'm going to do like a fall movie night. And so I do that in my neighborhood right now. And sometimes people, like lots of people come, sometimes just one or two people come, but it's always something that I like doing and I'm able to meet people, right? And so
Yeah.
anyway, ideas like that I talk to my kids about. And especially during those like right before bedtime sort of chats, when I'm talking about my day, studies are actually showing this, that their like cognitive development actually goes better when they hear their parents talk about their days. So I feel like this is a struggle I know very well, and my kids I think listen when I talk about myself.
I love that though. I think this was I think when my kids were little, I thought, oh, I know how to help them have friends, right? We have play dates. You get to control their schedule a little bit more. You become friends with parents, and then you try to sort of facilitate that and invite kids over. And that didn't actually like turn out the way that I thought it would.
Couldn't put both of
Which
them
is
in a
the
jar
theme
and
of my
shake it up.
life. That didn't go the way that I planned for it because some of my kids still had a hard time, and it doesn't. And just because of interest and personality, just because you set up play dates and say, "Hey, this would be a good friend for you," doesn't make it happen. And I remember my oldest, when he was about 10, he'd always struggled with friends, and I took it so personally, which I shouldn't have. But about like, I'm friends with these women, these moms, and why aren't they inviting my kid over, or why aren't these
Yeah.
kids? And I realized too, it had to do with my son too. He didn't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't really reciprocating. They didn't really have a lot in common. And I remember being at the dinner table one time, and my son at 10 said, not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. And just kind of ate. And I was like, what? And I just was like, who doesn't like you? I was more, but at the same time, like, I will, let me intervene. But it was really a healthy way for my kid to be. And turns out he's more of an introvert. I'm an extrovert, obviously. So I think in this question too, like what I like about it is that if the kid is coming to you saying I'm struggling, then that's a different situation than your kid. You think, oh, they should have more friends or different friends or whatever, and then they're not asking. When you see them struggling, then it almost feels like it's like you missed the boat. Like I just
Right.
want to echo that of like moms might be feeling that of like, oh, like I
Yeah.
did everything to like facilitate this, or I feel
Right.
there's a weird guilt that came to me that I wasn't expecting, like when my kids struggle with friends. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's hard to control that. We don't have control over that.
No, you don't.
And as much as we want our kids to feel validated in all spaces, it doesn't happen. I know for my kids, they were the ones that sought the outliers. And so for you moms out there that think, it's hard to make friends, just know you're not alone. There's a lot of kids out there that feel that way. And I think our kids grew up in a home where it's like, don't just think about yourself. You got to look towards others and who doesn't have a friend and who's not sitting with someone, and go and make a friend. Like, even though they may not be the popular person or the star athlete, but again, it's a human need of feeling belonged, right? Belonging. And I feel like our kids need to know they have that power within them to
Yes.
create friendships by
Yeah.
reaching out to others. And the second thing I was thinking of too, like you were mentioning, Whitney, our kids, we're able to participate in activities that they have common interest. And so I feel like just having that common interest, whether it's sports or music or art or whatever the case, it kind of naturally brings a communication that fosters friendship. And so,
That's a great idea.
yeah. So not just throwing them in with random people, but it's like, hey, what are you interested in? Do you want to do book club? Do you want to do chess club? Like what? And then they get that curiosity going, and those conversations are just like, oh wow, mom, I met a person, and they're so cool, and
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah,
Yeah. And when I have different, I've noticed with my kids, I'll have a child where I can offer a suggestion and she's all over it. And then she'll just go with it and plan the activity. And then I have others where I offer a suggestion and it paralyzes them because they don't even know what
Yes.
to do.
yeah.
So I learned early on I had to pull the trigger for those kids. And so I know, yeah, and we would just do the most ridiculous things. And I would say, okay, guess what? We're having a tie-dye party today. So I would text every kid in the neighborhood who's around or the mom and say, send your kid over at 2. We're going to tie-dye or we're going to do poor man's slip and slide. And we'll just put plastic out there on the grass and ruin it. And then that's always fun. But
We'll
it
worry
was
about that
super fun.
later.
We'll worry about it later. Yeah.
We're
Sorry,
talking about
hon.
friendship
Sorry, I
today.
ruined your grass. Kids had a great time. So that's how it kind of worked in our family when they were little. And when, much older, it like we've all talked about, it's so different because now as teenagers, I just have to let them figure it out because we offer the suggestions. I'm willing to pull the trigger, and this kid's like, nope. And so I've had to watch them navigate this friend thing. And that's uncomfortable for
That's
me.
uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's so easy to be friends. Just here's what you do. And they don't know. So I've watched her for the last 2 years just navigate her own way to have friends. Turns out it's worked. Not how I would have visioned at all, but it's working for her. And
Well,
then I
and
have
I
a
think
special
in
needs
this
daughter with no
question,
friends.
it's like that
Oh,
if you have somebody who's resistant to your suggestions, like I think that's really common, and especially like because I think it's sort of embarrassing for the kid to talk about of like, why don't I have these friendships that in my mind are like this? And I think that this is a question that I didn't anticipate would be so prominent like for teenagers and young adults.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they grew up in a different world than we anticipated for them. With COVID and with isolation, with technology, they're not doing the same. Their lives are not the way that ours were of like, just go outside and ride your bike. And you just like, hey, you want to be my friend? And, like when you're little and then in high school or in college, you're just all getting together. And it's not like that now. So our suggestions are in a totally different world. So I think what you're saying, Tammy, is really like important because it's something that they do have to navigate because the world is totally different. They may be
Right.
like, yeah, I'm willing to go and find like an activity that I can do or to be a friend to an outlier or but like where, when, how,
Right.
because you can't be like, my mom says we can all come over, like when they get older. But like, I still
Yeah.
have that impulse to be like, just have a party, like, come on over. And they're
Right.
like, no.
No, Mom.
Like,
And
With
and
my
I've made
mom?
sure that my
No.
house, like, I'm the fun mom. I have jars of candy all
Yes.
over my house,
I can
everywhere.
make cookies at any
Yes.
moment.
So when kids come over, they know, well, there's food at my house and I
There
am
you
truly
go.
that mom. Kids break in to get the stuff out of the, I don't care. Great. I have so much candy and crap in my house. So at least they know this is like the fun house. I'm not saying you have to be the fun house, but I kind of like being the fun house. Like I love that people know, oh, Soph's mom will have candy. Who cares? Great. Come over. Whatever gets you here. I will lure you in. Then I will bake you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What I like
I know
what
I've had to be. Oh, go ahead, Whitney.
No, I was gonna say I liked what you were saying, G, about like, looking towards people who don't have as many friends because I feel like that also gives them their power back because when they're complaining about like, people aren't my friend, you can't control whether or not people are your friend, right? And
yeah,
so
you
if it's like
can't.
give them their control over what they do have, which is like, hey, like here's someone who has a wide open schedule. You can tell. Is it going to be fun at first? Maybe not. And maybe it's going to seem like, mom, I'm not going to be friends with this person. But it's like, look, this is something you can control. And while you're doing it, all of a sudden, suddenly you're going to, like, that muscle's going to be used. And maybe you'll then
Yeah.
realize, I can now make friends with the people I want to make friends with. Or you're realizing, actually, I really want to be friends with this person because they're really cool the more I get to know them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I love that. I think that as our kids are seen with various different types of group, they're not pigeonholed to feel like they have to associate with a certain group to be cool. It's like I can be friends with a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures and backgrounds, and then people gravitate to them more
Mm.
because they're able to have that social skill of connecting with people. And I know for us, like you had mentioned, Tammy, food is a big thing. Like, it's like, "Oh, come over, my mom's making lunch for everybody
Yeah.
before the
Mhm.
football game." And I'm like, "I am?" It's like, "Dude, like, what budget
You
do
bet.
we have
Right?
that you're
It's
inviting
expensive for your
people
kids
over
to
every
have friends.
Friday to
Yeah.
have, to eat local moco, right, before the game?" But, I mean, you just kind of find your little niche, and you're authentic in who you are. And I think, like you're saying, yes, our social skills are lacking, but I think people can sense authenticity. And
Mm.
when you put yourself out like we're authentic, we're just offering whatever we have, I think they can recognize that, and they're just like, they're cool for who they are versus what they're not, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
Love
I
that.
like that.
Excellent. Yeah.
You know, I like this question because here's the thing. There's so many things that we can teach or model, and like friendship, that is important. Like we know that our kids having those kinds of connections, that actually is going to be one of the most meaningful parts of their lives, that helps
Mhm.
with physical health, mental health, emotional regulation, like so many things you benefit by having good friends. And so, like, of all the things that moms are worried about or you have on your plate for your kids, this is a topic I feel like that is worth our like time, discussion, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I think being able to be a resource to our kids when they don't know how to do something or something is hard is also like an opportunity for us to connect with them in a different way, to like invest with them on something that really matters. And I think this is a time that we could be like vulnerable and establish trust more, like by sharing our fails, our wins. Like when you were talking, Whitney, about, hey, this happened to me in my life.
Mhm.
I know that when I've shared with my kids, like, hey, this is kind of friendship that I had, and they stopped being my friend. And like, I'm a grown woman, and it really hurt my feelings, and I cried about it for a long time. Like, when I tell them, like, what happened, they're like, wait, for real? Like, oh, I always wondered what happened and why we never saw blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. And it feels like then they feel less alone instead of like trying to solve their problem. Check.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that you understand what they're feeling, because I don't think they're going to take advice from the parent who's trying to help them, but I think they might absorb advice that's, hidden, like the
Yeah.
hidden veggies, right? But it, like, they're absorbing your story because you're now just relating to them. You're now saying, man, that really sucks. Like that. I mean, I find that with a lot of parenting with my kids, where if I tell them what to do, they don't want to do that. But if I then relate to them and say, man,
Yeah.
like that totally sucks that you're feeling that way. It looks like you're really struggling with loneliness and this and that. Then they're like, man, like my mom is giving names to the things I'm feeling. Like I feel closer to her. And then you start sharing your life and they're
Yeah.
like, she gets it. All of a sudden they're open.
mhm.
That's what I've heard happens. We'll see.
Yes.
That's great advice.
I really think you guys have hit on something here where it's like, as a mom, we model friendship, right? When our
Yeah.
kids are down, we're listening to them. When they need help, we're going out, going all in for them. Like, I feel like that shows the kind of behavior of a good friend. And so it may put you in a bad situation because you're going to do a lot of work. But I do feel that our kids feel the way we want our friends, or they want their friends to feel, right? Because mom has made
Ooh,
me feel
yeah.
welcomed. She's
Yeah.
made me feel loved. She made me feel heard. That's the kind of feeling I want someone else to feel when I'm their friend.
Oh,
And
I
so I've
love
Mm,
got to
that.
do
yeah,
things that mom does, not in mom's way, but I got to be there for them. I got to show up for them. I got
I
to bring
love
them
that.
something. I got to tell them, send them a text. Like that modeling bridges the gap of awkwardness that it's like, well, how do I get someone to feel that way or be my friend,
Oh, I
if I
like,
don't know how
yeah.
to do that?
Yeah.
And I
wow,
also
that's
think that
powerful.
like how like I don't know. I may be wrong on this. But the thought experiment too of walking them through how someone else might be feeling too, or not
Mm.
being able to, the reasons why someone can't show up as the friend that you want them to be is, I think, also a good, like, exercise in empathy of saying, yeah, that friend wasn't there for you when you really needed them, but there are other things that are going on in their life. And what does it mean to establish good boundaries? But what does it also mean to give someone the benefit of the doubt? And, and to show
Hmm.
up for them too, instead of just like, oh, they weren't the good kind of friend, so I'm cutting them off forever.
Right.
Like it also is like a bigger, I think, like impact than friendship on like just how we see other people and the roles in their
Yeah.
lives and who we can depend on and what we offer as a friend and offering somebody the benefit of the doubt, when they're saying like, uh, you know, just struggling to find friends. Well, maybe they have friends, but it's just not the kind of friend that they want. And that's a different discussion than how to make friends. You know what I mean? And I think that it's worth having too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it
But it's
seems
hard.
like those conversations too, again, I feel like they fall better once your kid knows that I hear you, like, man, that sucks
Yeah.
so much. And then being able, I feel like for me, I feel like stories are what convince people more than statistics, than whatever, right? And so for me, when I'm able to find some example of like, you know what, like that happened with a friend of mine and me. And if I can show them like I was the crappy friend in that situation because
Yeah.
I was going through this, I was going through this, I was going through this. I think my kids, we're the closest humans to them, right? Like we can be the most transparent examples to them. So if they can get like a perspective on what's going on in our lives, hopefully they can transfer that to others. Because generally we assume so much and it's usually about us, right? We're usually assuming
Mm-hmm.
the worst
Mm-hmm.
reflection on messaging in ourselves. So I think if we can just emphasize over and over and over, reality is almost always kind. Like usually like what's the word? Mom brain is real. The most
Logical.
logical, oh my gosh, yeah. The most logical conclusion is usually the one that it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm on your
The-
wavelength.
yeah. The simplest conclusion usually is the right
Like
one,
Occam's razor of like
right?
the most, yeah,
Yeah. So
predictable
if
is
someone
usually the
like,
most correct. Yeah.
right, if someone didn't show up to your party, it's probably not because they secretly hate you and they've been pretending to be your friend and talking behind your back. It's probably because they had something come up and they couldn't make it. Like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
what a crazy solution. But I think that if we can model that over and over and over for our kids, of like, generally, people aren't thinking about you that much in negative ways. Like, they just have their own
They're
lives.
thinking about themselves.
Yes,
That's
And let's
exactly.
just say it.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah. Now, this is the part in the Council of Moms that like this helps me because a lot of times, and this is how I kind of want to wrap up this discussion is like our kids, we have really good advice. We've learned stuff. We know things and we love our kids and we want them to know it and they don't listen to us. So, I mean, they do, but they're like, we know what you
They're not going to
think.
give you credit, though.
Yeah,
They won't
or they're
give
not
you
going to give us
credit.
credit.
Yeah.
So this is the time I want us to all go around and give your greatest piece of advice that you would want to give to this kid that they wouldn't take it. But I just want to validate the moms that is
So
really
nice of
good
you,
advice.
Lisa.
Thank you. This is a service to us. They won't take advice, but if they were about friends, what would you say to them?
Now I'm
So
quiet.
everybody got real serious.
I'll say mine. What my thing has been, and four of my girls can tell you, I've said this to every one of them. I don't want you to be popular. I just want you to be kind. And there's a big difference between those two things. And I don't mean to sound like, oh, listen to what I'm saying. I just learned throughout my life because I was very popular. I was. People
I
knew
believe
me.
it. People like you.
It's really hard to raise kids who are not popular because I'm like, it's so easy to be popular. And if you're popular, like I'm like the 1980s is in me. I want you to be popular. And then I realized, oh, no, I don't. Okay, I have to recheck myself. Like, popularity comes with a price. So I just want you to be kind. And maybe it's kind to one person. You only need one friend. And I've always said that to them. You just need one good friend to get through middle school and high school. Let's find that friend for you. And so, yeah, that's my advice.
Great advice. Okay, what else we got?
I think my advice would just be the kind of friend that you'd want to have. And I feel like when you're genuine in who you are, that you'll attract the right people to you. Like you're saying, Tammy, it's not about being popular. I think kindness goes a long way in friendship. And so I would just say, be you.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, you guys, this is so good. Whitney, what do you got?
Oh gosh, I feel like I've said everything that I would probably say, which means I probably just give my advice right off the bat, huh? No, honestly,
Which is good.
I would say my advice would be that this time of life is hard for everyone. The people that you want to be your friend and for you. And so if life is hard and people are going through it, then gosh, like just find whatever brightness that you have and just give it away. Like just there's not too little of it. You're not going to lose it, right? Just give away whatever brightness you have and suddenly life is going to feel better and things will start falling into place. But you don't want to like if someone isn't going to be your friend, then be grateful, right? This is why I would never say this, right? This is my advice. Be grateful that they showed you quickly that they couldn't see your light, right? So they showed you quickly.
Yeah.
Move on. Keep bringing your light to other people.
Move on.
Oh,
Yep.
I like this.
Move
This
on.
is so great. And my advice would be a little kind of on those lines in that I would say don't write anyone off. You know, people show up in your life and a friendship is not a test. Are we perfectly aligned and will you be the perfect friend? It's not. Friendship is a wide gamut. There's of it. It's a big spectrum. And sometimes someone's 100% to you looks like 10%, but it doesn't mean that it's not valuable and that they're not valuable as a friend and enriching to your life and vice versa. And so don't write anyone off.
Right.
Be friends with everyone. Be open to it. Now, that doesn't mean, have no boundaries and things like that. But I think when your needs are met, like when you have a good, best friend that you can say all the things to, it becomes so much easier just to be friends with everyone because you're a more generous friend. You can just accept them where they are with what they can offer. And it's not, you don't have to be critical of that at all.
Yeah.
So don't write anyone off.
Don't write anyone off.
Such good advice.
This feels like
all three
dating
of you. That
advice
was
too.
You guys,
right?
I just feel like we should
good.
record this and send it to each of our children and all of the children in the world. How do you think that would be received?
This would go over
You're
really
I already
well.
heard this, Mom. I'm
You
good.
guys, my kids don't even listen to the Council of Moms. That's the ultimate irony of
Yeah.
all of this.
Because
Of
it's
this
not
show.
for them.
But
It's
it's
for
not for
moms.
them. It's for us.
Yes.
There you go. We have an audience.
Thank you so much for your great advice and for being here. Are you listening to the Council of Moms or are you watching us over on YouTube? We make great facial expressions. You might want to watch us over on YouTube, but you can listen to the Council of Moms wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like this, you can support us by subscribing to it. Did you know you can subscribe on every platform too? You can subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, everywhere. And share this. Share it with a mom who needs a good laugh or a little pick-me-up. And as always, send us your questions. You can comment here where you're listening or where you're watching, or you can DM us on Instagram. We read every message. We do. It's fun. We love it. And Council of Moms is a production of BYU Radio. We're so glad you're here, and we hope that you will join our council. Hear, hear. I feel like I need a gavel. Gavel, gavel.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Scene.
And scene.